Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely fascinating, one of the most profound intersections of technology and humanity out there. We are unpacking how modern, highly sophisticated artificial intelligence is stepping up to tackle one of our oldest, most emotionally complex challenges, elder care and cognitive decline. It's a topic that honestly touches almost every single family eventually, and the innovations happening right now are just, well, they're truly breathtaking. Let's get into it.
To really grasp why this matters so much, we first have to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of the situation. 55 million. Let that number sink in for a second. That is the number of people worldwide currently living with dementia, and that number is only growing, with nearly 10 million new cases diagnosed every single year. So we aren't just talking about a medical statistic here. This represents 55 million individuals experiencing cognitive changes, memory loss, and often a really heartbreaking disconnect from the world around them. The human stakes are absolutely massive.
So this brings us to the real elephant in the room, the central question for us today. Can a machine truly provide human-like companionship? I mean, it's totally natural to be skeptical. We're wired to believe that empathy requires a human heart, right? But what if the empirical data says otherwise? What if the science is actually showing us that AI can not only simulate companionship, but literally provide measurable psychological and social benefits? That is exactly what we're going to explore. Here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll cover the crisis of isolation, then the limits of traditional care, before we introduce AI chatbot companions. From there, we'll look at healing through conversation, the actual measurable mental health benefits, and finally, how this is completely redefining modern elder care. All right, let's jump in. Part 1. The crisis of isolation as a growing global challenge. Beyond the neurological symptoms of dementia, one of the most devastating side effects is profound social isolation. Older adults are incredibly vulnerable to loneliness, and research shows that loneliness actively accelerates cognitive decline. And who's bearing the brunt of trying to bridge this gap? It's families. In 2023 alone, family caregivers provided over 18.4 billion hours of unpaid care. That averages out to nearly 31 hours a week per caregiver. These people are absolute heroes, but they're operating under immense emotional strain, often sacrificing their own mental health, which leads to high rates of clinical depression and total caregiver burnout. Which leads us to part 2, the limits of traditional care and the accessibility gap. Don't get me wrong, we do have established systems to help, but they are hitting a serious breaking point. Think about traditional group therapies, physical, cognitive. They're absolutely fantastic for engagement, but think about the heavy logistical coordination it takes to make them happen. You need trained professionals, a dedicated facility, transportation, strict scheduling. As incredible as these programs are, they simply cannot offer the 24/7 on-demand support that seniors and their families desperately need. So traditional interventions are facing some major systemic bottlenecks. We're looking at sky-high emotional strain on families, a severe lack of actual downtime for caregivers, wildly costly professional resources, rigid schedules, and crucially, a lack of continuous daily monitoring. The whole system is completely overburdened, and that creates this desperate need for a scalable, always available solution. Part 3. Enter AI chatbot companions. We are going way beyond simple algorithms here. Now, this is where the narrative completely shifts. We aren't talking about those clunky voice assistants of the past that could, only set a timer or tell you the weather. Forget those. We're talking about large language models, or LLM chatbots. These are advanced AI systems capable of generating dynamic, emotionally expressive, context-aware, and incredibly open-ended conversations. You don't have to use rigid, robotic commands to talk to them. This makes them fundamentally different and infinitely better suited for elder care, where natural flowing conversation is the entire point. And if you're sitting there doubting whether older adults or their families will actually accept this tech, listen to this real-world feedback from a caregiver who used a specialized dementia care chatbot. They said, "I actually feel so stupid now that I never trusted AI. I am really surprised how good it is. It works 24 hours a day." That completely shatters the myth of technological rejection, right? And that 24/7 availability, that isn't just a cool feature. It is a literal lifeline that traditional care just cannot provide. Moving to part 4, healing through meaningful conversation, and the AI strategy making it happen. So, how do these algorithms actually provide tangible cognitive benefits? It's all about the depth of the interaction. Standard AI is basically short-turn Q&A. It's super transactional. But a specialized model, like the ChatWise system, utilizes multi-turn, dual-level reasoning. It's specifically designed to draw the user into prolonged, meaningful conversations with tailored daily themes. This strategic, long-term interaction is the exact specific feature needed to really drive engaging cognitive wellness. And the result of that depth? It's pretty amazing. One user in the studies noted, "Now I can have this chatbot to talk to anytime I want. It feels like a friend." Think about how powerful that is. The AI successfully bridges the gap from being a cold, functional tool to providing genuine emotional resonance. It fundamentally reduces feelings of loneliness and isolation simply by being present, attentive, and consistently conversational.
Part 5. Measurable mental health benefits. Because the data really does speak for itself.
Look, this isn't just theory or wishful thinking. It is firmly grounded in rigorous empirical data. A groundbreaking study published in Scientific Reports evaluated the Clova care call intervention. And researchers didn't just track a few days of data. They evaluated community-dwelling individuals with dementia over a massive 31-week period to see if AI could genuinely impact their clinical metrics. During those 31 weeks, each participant received 63 AI care calls. 63! That validates a really high frequency of engagement. And these weren't just quick automated check-ins. They were active, conversational interventions designed from the ground up to provide emotional support and cognitive engagement on a continuous basis.
And the payoff was huge. After the AI care calls, scores on the Geriatric Depression Scale dropped significantly. And at the exact same time, cognitive memory function actively increased. An algorithm literally helped reduce depressive symptoms while actively boosting memory. The data is crystal clear here. AI interventions work.
Finally, Part 6, redefining modern elder care and building a collaborative future. Now, the big takeaway here is definitely not that AI is replacing human caregivers. No way. When we compare traditional care side by side with AI companions, we see that they are incredibly complementary. Traditional care offers essential physical engagement, but it's strict and costly. AI fills the gaps with 24/7 on-demand availability, low cost, and continuous conversational monitoring. Basically, AI takes that grueling off-hours pressure right off of human caregivers. Ultimately, why does all of this matter? Because we are overcoming societal stigma. By integrating compassionate technology, we're building supportive environments that actively reduce senior isolation. These chatbots do so much more than just preserve cognitive function. They restore a sense of autonomy, a sense of connection, and a real spark of joy for older adults who might otherwise spend their days in silence. Which leaves us with one really provocative question to think about as we wrap up. If an algorithm, literally just lines of code, can provide measurable psychological benefits, if it can help heal a human mind, reduce depression, and combat isolation, how will AI completely redefine what it means to age with dignity? It is a profound, life-changing potential that we are only just beginning to unlock. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the future.